They called me the family disappointment, the one who'd never make it. 11 years ago, I walked out of that house with nothing but a suitcase and a heart full of betrayal. My sister had taken everything that was supposed to be mine, my parents' pride, my chance, and even the man I thought loved me. But last week, I got an invitation to her wedding. She didn't know I'd changed. She didn't know who I'd become. And when I walked through those doors, no one expected the storm that followed. I used to adore my sister, Lily. She was charming, confident, and always knew how to make people love her. Our parents treated her like gold while I was the shadow in every room. The turning point came when I was 21. I got accepted into an art program abroad. It was my dream, but our parents refused to fund it, saying they couldn't afford it. 2 months later, they paid for Lily's engagement party, to Daniel, the man I'd secretly been dating for over a year. My world shattered that night. When I confronted her, she smiled and said, "You should have been faster." That was the night I left home, promising myself I'd never return until I had something worth showing. No one tried to stop me. They just watched as I disappeared into the rain. The first few years were brutal. I worked 2 jobs, waitress by day, freelance artist by night, just to survive. But pain has a strange way of turning into fuel. Every insult, every betrayal, became a stroke on the canvas of my determination. I studied art whenever I could, entered competitions, and slowly started getting noticed. By the 7th year, I had my own studio. By the 9th, my work was featured in galleries across Europe. And by the 11th, I was one of the youngest women to have her name on a major exhibition. I built everything from nothing. No family support. No handouts. Just grit and silence. Then one morning, I received a white envelope with gold trim. Inside, a wedding invitation, Lily and Daniel, celebrating their new beginning. The same man. After all these years. I laughed so hard I cried. And then I booked a flight home. When I arrived, no one recognized me at first. My hair was shorter, my confidence sharper, my name changed. I now went by Diana Reeves, my professional name. At the reception, guests whispered about the mysterious woman with the designer dress. I smiled. I saw my parents across the room, still obsessed with appearances, pretending to be perfect. Lily stood near the altar, radiant in her gown, unaware that her past was about to resurface. Daniel looked older, tired, maybe guilty. When the host asked everyone to take their seats, I placed my gift on the table, a painting wrapped in silver paper. The same one Lily had once destroyed out of jealousy. Except this time, it was worth more than their entire wedding budget. As dinner began, whispers spread. The host announced the donor of the gallery art exhibit that funded part of the event, Ms. Diana Reeves. Lily froze. Daniel turned pale. My parents' smiles vanished. After the speeches, Lily approached me. Her tone was soft, but her eyes were full of confusion. "Diana," she whispered. I smiled. "It's been a while, hasn't it, sister?" She blinked, her perfect facade cracking. "You look different." "Success does that," I said calmly. Daniel tried to step in, saying, "We didn't know you'd come." "Oh, you knew," I interrupted. "You just didn't expect I'd come back, like this." The room grew tense. Cameras flashed as guests noticed the exchange. Then the host invited the sponsor to say a few words. I stood up, clinking my glass. "I once knew a family," I began, voice steady. "They taught me what betrayal feels like. But they also taught me strength. Every eye was on me." I continued, to the bride, "May your second marriage bring you the happiness your first engagement destroyed." Gasps filled the hall. Lily's face drained of color. Daniel looked away. My parents sat frozen. I smiled gently, placed my glass down, and left the room before anyone could speak. I didn't wait for reactions. Outside, the night air felt like victory, cold, clean, and freeing. My driver opened the car door, and as we pulled away, I could see the chaos unfold through the glass windows. Lily crying. My parents arguing. Guests whispering. That painting I'd gifted? It wasn't just symbolic. It was titled Resurrection. A portrait of a woman rising from ashes, my story on canvas. And I'd donated its proceeds to a charity supporting women starting over after betrayal. The next morning, I woke up to a storm of social media posts, photos of me, headlines about the mysterious sponsor, and thousands of messages praising my courage. My parents called, of course. I didn't answer. For the first time in my life, I felt peace, not from revenge, but from closure. I didn't return to hurt anyone. I came back to remind myself how far I'd come. Sometimes revenge isn't shouting or destroying. It's standing tall in silence while others drown in their own choices. I never needed an apology. I just needed to prove, to myself, that I could rebuild from nothing. And I did. Lily once said I'd never be anyone. Now, she'll remember me forever, not as her sister, but as the woman she could never become. And that, to me, is enough.